Hello, everybody. Welcome. Thank you for coming on in. Let me see if I get any peeps in here today. So, welcome. Oh, it is Saturday. I got to sleep in today. It was great. I think I really needed it. Still having bizarre dreams. Crazy, crazy dreams. I kept on feeling that I wanted privacy. It was like I wanted privacy and I was locking myself away. Crazy dream. Found that there was a special button that I could, and it in my dream it focused in on a button or a lever that controlled the mechanism for the door or something, and I could lock it. And it was very weird because it was very crowded. So it was a crowded place. There was a lot of people there. We seemed to live in the same area or the same house. And um, it was, wanting to have your individuality, your uniqueness, yet sometimes it got trampled, seemed to be trampled. Somebody's um, beautiful, I don't know, maybe I broke it or somebody broke it, their chalice or their wine glass, a very pretty wine glass, or got broken. It was just like because people impeded on other people's stuff. And even though you wanted your privacy, sounds like today, right? Man, as I'm talking about it, I'm just like, whoa, that sounds like the energy as I'm explaining that. You're wanting your individuality, you're wanting that uniqueness of who you are, and you want it, sort of your privacy, but things are being infringed on you. Yet it focused on a button. It kept focusing on a button in my dream. On that lever was kind of like a lever thing. And I noticed it and I'm like, oh, I can lock it and nobody can come in and I have control over it. And if I didn't notice that, then anybody could come in and out whenever they wanted. So I found that very interesting. And it's funny because I I do have a privacy. I have subscribed to Surfshark for my VPN and for privacy, and I have it on my phone, have it on my computer. So that I find is interesting because you can disconnect it because sometimes certain websites you can't get on when you have the VPN, depending, especially if you're buying something. So online. So it is a good thing to have. But anyways, yeah, that was my crazy ass dream. I'm wondering if anybody else is having crazy ass dreams lately. It's a I feel like you see the energies are kind of crazy yet good. And I think it's like focusing or forcing us to um step into what we want to materialize. Like you can have dreams and fantasies, but are they materializing? It's like, when spring hit when I was in school, I was gone. Like soon as springtime hit and I was in high school, junior high, anyways, at school, let's just put it in school, I was lost. So basically from about March, April to the end of the year, I was out. I was zoned out. I couldn't do any work. I was on a totally la la land. And I wasn't one who loved school anyways. I didn't like the idea of school. I didn't hate it going to school. I used to run away. My mom used to have to come and find me and take me back to school. Um because I would hide, and I just didn't like going to school. I didn't like the idea. I felt um I think because I didn't feel like I fit in. Never felt like I fit in. And so I go off into my daydreams and stuff. And this is, where, as we look as adults, you can daydream, it's great, but there's an actuality right now that's coming in to make it real. Make things real in your life. Make things like this is a time to really bring in the tangible and not be afraid. And I think this is where a lot of people are. They're afraid of getting their heart broken. They're afraid that it's not going to work. they're tied up within this, within this fantasy world, or within a world that, it's the devil card. So the devil card comes in with the 3 of swords, and it's like, yeah, are we caught up in isolation, or in a way that we don't want to really step out to try and materialize, because we're afraid that, when is that next shoe going to drop? And I think that's a huge fear in our world right now, and in our lives, where we're wanting to get out there, we want to participate. And I feel like you just got to do it. You just got to step out. You just got to participate. And that's going to help us to get over that fear, because there is a fear. There is a kind of wanting to enclose you into a space so you don't move out. And here we are in this energy that is saying for us to get involved. The moon tonight or this afternoon, will be moving into Aquarius, and Mercury is going to be moving into Aquarius. Now, Mercury's had a hard go of it. I mean, going through, he's especially going through Pisces these last few weeks. He's been at very much detriment, and, trying to figure things out, getting lost in fantasy land, getting lost, in how we are hearing what we are wanting to do, and maybe not being able to fully understand the direction of our life at this time. And he's stepping into Aries. And as he steps into Aries, this is going to bring in some excitement, some spark. It's like almost where you're coming out and you're kind of shaking off all that water, shaking off all that energy that's been sort of hanging on you, and you get to go by the fire to warm up, and you get that spark of energy. So this is where we're coming into that Aries. And now Aries energy is very simple. It's the first sign of the zodiac. It is the sign of the ego, of the I am. It is the sign of, what is my name? What do I stand for? Where am I going? How do I look? It is about our appearance. It is about how we are stepping forward into our day. And here Mercury is coming in, and the sun is there. And it is stepping into this energy of, what is it that you want to create? What is that spark, and what is that initiative? Yet Neptune is still very strong, and he's in the last decan of Neptune. And that Neptune energy, and as Jupiter is getting closer, and they are pretty much in a conjunction, they're only a couple degrees apart, there's that energy of, of this expansiveness. Now, Jupiter has, I mean, it's like this is the first time in a couple years he hasn't been with his dad. I mean, through Capricorn energy, he was with his dad and with Pluto. Then he went into Aquarius, and he's with his dad, and they conjuncted at 0 degrees. And, and then he started to move away. He started to race ahead, and then he landed in the water. He went, straight from being up high into the expansiveness of the universe, the Aquarius energy, into the waters, into the depths of the water. And I feel like that's where we feel it's like we were like, okay, we got to get rid of this craziness, this structure. We don't want to be a part of this. We want to move. We want to be expansive. And we run, and then plunk, we're in the water. And now sometimes it feels like we're treading water. We're trying to figure things out. We're trying to hear things, and we're exhausted. We're tired. And in comes this energy, and this energy, as we're moving forward through this week and through this weekend, is to start to begin to live our lives. And I feel like it's still that there's that treading water. If you've ever been, sometimes when you're swimming, and then you feel like you want to touch the ground, when you're in the water, you want to touch, and it's like, oh, there's nothing there. There's nothing there, or there's weeds. You get that little feel of the weeds on your feet, and you're just like, ah, and it's kind of like it's that fearfulness of like maybe we just have to swim a little bit, closer to shore. Maybe we have to, um, allow ourselves to float with the tide a bit, with that rip tide, in order for us to get our strength to come to where we can find that landing, to find that landing. And as Neptune is going forward right now, he's coming in with the water. He's coming in with covering up the tide pools, covering up the shoreline. And also, this is where it's like, okay, are we going to crash again? Are things going to be restricted again? So this is very much in being indicated within our own selves, within the fears that are around us. And again, it's where Venus and Saturn are coming together, and Saturn is with Juno. I want structure. I want to have my material things. And I feel like that's why so many people are running out and buying houses right now, or buying things right now. And because they're like, we need our house. We need to put down roots. We need to put down some kind of structure. And they're wanting to have that. They're wanting to have, that connection, that what it is, when you have a house. And I feel like, honestly, this isn't a time to buy a house. I would say wait. I mean, I'm not a realtor, I'm not an investor or anything like that. But if you're a first time homeowner, if you've already bought, just, I hope to God you went into a locked in interest rate, and not a variable rate with that. And hang on tight, because, and that you don't get, buyer's remorse from buying the house and then finding out it's not worth as much as what you thought it was. That's the thing. And sometimes we get antsy with that. We get really antsy because we want things now. We want to have it now, and we want to create things now. And this is where it's like, okay, but we got to get out there. We got to get connected. You know, we got to resource things for ourselves. We got to come into that grounding, with the energies that are coming forth. And I know yesterday I was pretty crazy with my message, and for some people it feels harsh, but I am a realism. A realistic. I really had. I sat down. I'm like, well, how do I want to do things differently in my life? And the thing is, I like what I do. I really do like what I do. I love looking into and giving people the messages, and the good and the bad and the ugly. And to change that, I think that's not what I'm here to do. I had I was talking to an astrologer friend, and I said, "Could you look at my chart because there's shit happening?" And I asked her, when it comes to financials and stuff like that. And she goes, and she looked at my chart, and she goes, "Yeah, you can make money, but you're not here to make money." And I'm just like, "Okay." But we live in a money world, right? We need money to do things. She goes, "You've come in with a chart that is spiritual. You come in with a chart that is here to spiritually lead people, not necessarily to make money. If you make money from it, or if you create an abundance from it, that's wonderful. But your main basis is to lead and bring people to a place where they can create their abundance, and they can create what they are wanting in their life, and to help to lead them and to teach them." And I'm, when you hear that, it's like, it sounds wonderful, doesn't it? It sounds great. And you're just, but I'm sitting there, but it's like, no, um, I want it to come in to make abundance and some kind of prosperity, and maybe be the next Hay House. But she says, well, that's really not, I mean, she goes, you could do it, you could try and do it, but she goes, it will be a struggle and you will be exhausted doing it. But you are coming in to be that leader and to help to lead people. And she says, you've been doing this for a long time. And she goes, it's not the first time in your lifetime to do it. And then she talked a little bit about my past life. She goes, the past life, there was something to do with you um, being a, what'd she say, like a judge or somebody who was in politics, and where you were really trying, and I hadn't seen this life before. And she goes, but it made a lot of sense. She goes, because in this lifetime you've come in to learn your emotions and step into the emotional part with people. In your past life, you were that staunch person, that government person that wanted the rules and regulations. And she goes, this is a lifetime where you come in to break the rules and regulations. You came in to break the rules, what has been set up for people to do. You've come in to break it and to come in with the emotional aspect to help people along. And it's, with my Saturn is in Aquarius, that's to lead people in a new way and to create that new way. Yet Saturn in Aquarius, as we all know, and we're experiencing now, can be a place where you can get stuck with the restrictions. You can get stuck with the mandates. You can get stuck with all of that. And I have a Jupiter in Aries, which is very feisty. Having a Jupiter in Aries is a very feisty one, and you want to get out there, and whatever you do, you want to lead and expand. And we'll find that out as Jupiter will be going into um, Aries, and it will be expansive and it will be crazy and havoc, because Jupiter just went through a lot of stuff, and is now, you know, it's like almost wanting to spread your wings and just be out there. And that's where it's, where we can get very much back into our fear and to watching what our fear is and what's holding us back. And for me, yes, I would love to have that structure. Give me that structure, because that's what I've done, I guess, in my past life. And I go back to that structure because my South Node is in Capricorn. Capricorn is all about structure and getting caught up in that structure and wanting to make sure that, in that government, thinking the government, the institutions, the corporations are, that patriarchal system. But my North Node is in Cancer, and I'm breaking away to come into that mothering, to come into that emotional part, to help to lead with the emotions. And it is a hard one at times to do, and especially when you have um a lot of energy in your fifth house, which is Leo, and that's my Scorpio. My Scorpio's in the fifth house, and Leo is the sun. It is there to come out. Let's get out there. Let's play. Let's have fun. Let's do things. And yet, there's a part that comes in where that fear. I don't want to offend people. I don't want to step on people's toes. I don't want to overdo things, or I don't want to cause waves. And that's where I feel many of us are right now. We don't want to cause that waves. We don't, it's like we don't want to offend or talk back because it's a fear of being canceled, a fear of being thrown out, a fear of not being accepted, all of that, a fear of catching COVID. I mean, people are still in that COVID, Bill. I mean, we have people come in our house every day, for Steve, Monday through Friday. And we have to go through a COVID screen. Not that we get tested, but is anybody sick? Everybody okay? And I'm just like, I said to one girl, I said, I'm over this. I said, I was over COVID before COVID, when COVID started. I said, this is, to me, it's a bunch of bullshit. And I went, oh, I guess I wasn't, for her, it isn't. She was one of the ones that, she came in with the shield and the mask and everything else. And got to respect that. Got to respect that, because that's where a lot of people are. And of course, she sees many people all day long. So probably more people on one-on-one basis than I do. So that fear is there. That fear, for many is still there. And they 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 want to use it as their excuse. So why don't you want, this is where we have to start looking at within our own, why don't we want to engage? And that's what's going to be stopping us from our materializing, for what it is that we do want to materialize in our world, the Venus energy. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's sort of that tug of war. But I feel like as we go into, and we'll start feeling a difference, and especially when it comes to the communications with that Mercury going into Aries, and the build up to the new moon, which will be on top of Chiron, that's coming up. So we got to build up onto the new moon. So let's pull a card. What do I pull? The first card I pull. I can't make this shit up. It's the Three of Swords. So there's pain. Yes, there's pain. The Three of Swords is pain. There's a pain that we are not wanting to face. And there's a fear within us all as a collective of, what does it mean if I step out? What does it mean when I engage with others? What does that look like? What does that feel like? And with that, we have to go forward. We have to make a plan to go forward upon our journey. We can't stay in that fear. We can't stay in there. We have to, and it's slow and steady. It's the Knight of Pentacles. He doesn't move fast. I mean, he's riding a big ass Clydesdale. It looks like, little flower, little leaves, laurels. Looks like in the hair, in the mane there, and he's going for a long ride. Look at that saddle. It's a very sturdy saddle, and the trees are pretty. They're there, and it's a slow and steady. There's sunshine. It's bright. The horse is it's dark, and but it's like earth. It's a strong horse, and he's a knight. So remember that a knight is always on guard. So being on guard, yes, you are guarded within your heart. You are guarded upon your journey and what you are doing, but he is on guard. He is on guard with what he is doing, but he's going to make sure that he's going to make a forward action. He's going forward in what he's doing in order, to create something. Maybe he's dreaming about what it is that he's truly wanting to create. He's looking at all the stuff that he has done, yet there is something new that is there. There is some hope. There is something that can rise above upon this journey. And it is overcoming a lot of the heart and a lot of the fear that we have felt over the past years. And it is stepping into this newness. And as we step in, and I know a few of you are probably thinking, but you were saying, yes, yeah, we're on the brink. I mean, they're talking about it everywhere. Yes, we're on the brink of some kind of nuclear war or something nuclear. I know there's something coming in about a global revolution, and I think things are going to be exploding in many ways. And there's many things that aren't being talked about at this time. But those are things we can't control. And I'm going to go back to what this lovely Amish man said. He says, when you put your trust in man, man always changes. One of the reasons they don't vote is that there's a new person in every 4 years. Every 4 years, there's somebody new. Every 4 years, there's, and this is where you have to put your trust into a higher power, into God, into the goddess, into that higher self energy. You have to put your trust into and have faith in something larger than you are. And that's how you can step into and materialize from the ether and allow it to guide you, allow things to show up for you. And as they show up for you, trust in that guidance, that inner intuition, which is that Neptune energy, in that spiritual side. If we go into that beautiful, luscious side, it's going to guide us into something. It's going to help us to overcome that fear that we are feeling at this time so that we are able to step forward to create something new. It's there. It's there for us. It's going to take us some time to get there. So it's not a, oh my God, I got to do it now kind of energy. It's an all or nothing. It's putting it out there to the universe and saying, you know what? This is what I need now. Can you help to show me what I need? And putting it forth. And that's, for myself and my husband, this is something that we're doing right now in our lives. We're putting out what is it that we need right now and what don't we need? What is it that we want to push forward on in our life? And what is it that we, it's we can regain it again at another time. And that's where we're at um this since September and October of last year, we've been going through quite a change. And from Steve working and me still doing what I do, and things were sort of plugging along and we're getting by, to a complete overhaul of everything. So we've gone where we were just feeling we were getting our grip and the rug got pulled from underneath us. And that's where I feel the Three of Swords is. But it's our trust and faith in God that gets us through. It's our trust and faith in our divine, our heavenly Father and Mother, that something new is going to come in on the horizon. We're not sure what it is. We're not sure what that looks like. Yet we have to trust, we have to step into it. And I've had miracles come in through that in the last little while. I've had miracles where, as I said, someone a couple of weeks ago sent us groceries, and I was like, oh, thank fucking God. you know and that really helped to do it. I had a neighbor come and fill my gas tank up. It gave me a gas card, and we got to fill up our gas tank. That was like, holy shit. We've had these little miracles. I've had people send me coffee money. Thank you. And that's gotten me through, so I can go get my coffee in the morning. So we've had these little miracles that have come in, and that's what it is that you got to let go of the grievances and choose the miracles. It's those little miracles, and that's what you got to look at. You might not think it's a miracle, but it truly, truly is when somebody comes in. Oh, my baby, how are you?
Good.
Oh, you feel better? Okay, your cookie's on the table there. Okay.
And Sam broke up with my mom.
Yeah?
Yeah, because he was talking meanly.
To her? And so she didn't want that around her anymore?
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
There's 5 people watching.
There's 4 people watching now.
Yeah.
Say there's 4 people watching now. So, thank you for sharing, Mateus.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's 5 people watching. That was my grandson, Mateus. Had to come in and share what's happening with my daughter, Olivia. Now we spread it out to the world. That her and Sam broke up because he was talking meanly to her, and she didn't want that in her life anymore. So that's what he said. So he has to come and tell. So he is a little Gemini with a Libra moon and a rising Aquarius. So he really wants to make sure that you know things. And I think everything, his energy's in the 3rd house, which is Gemini. So he does have that Gemini, in the 3rd house. So very much Gemini energy that he has. So yeah. So he will make sure that you know things. Love it. Love it. But, he's another one of our miracles. He's the one who comes and he cheers up our day and is a part of our day. And it's wonderful. It's wonderful to have that. Oh. Not used to drinking orange juice. Whoa. So it's like, whoa. But it is for stepping forward and having faith. And those little things, as I said, are the miracles. Those little things that people have done. We also had a neighbor bake us some scones and stuff and bring the scones over. So we've had people that have done some really beautiful things for us. I just had a lovely friend who is buying me a pressure cooker, a canner, pressure canner, and is having it sent to me. And I'm just like, wow, thank you. That's beautiful. And we've had others who come in to give us money to help us to pay some bills, and so that we didn't get our lights turned off. And it's it's amazing that the things that have come forward for us, and being so grateful for it. And that's what you have to put your faith and trust in. There are going to be some crazy other bumps that are going to come in that are going to have to be let go of. And I think that's what we're going to be finding in all of our lives, so that we make sure that we go forward to the new roads that are coming in, but not being afraid of it. The Aries energy is not complicated. It is very simple. It is just allowing ourselves to step into that spark, to take the initiative to go forward. And in doing so, that's going to help us to open great doors for ourselves and get through more of the unrest and more of the complicated situations that may unfold within our within our world, that are going to come forward for us. So this is taking that one step at a time and valuing what we need to value and what is important for ourselves and in the world that we live in. On that note, I'm going to send you guys off with so much love. Thank you so much for being a part of my community. Thank you so much for supporting me at this time and my family. And if you are wanting to, I'm taking on some new clients for mentorship. I have packages available. You can go to thegurumama.com, and the packages are up there. There's a 3 months, 6 months, and a nine. Like it's 3 1 hours or 6 1 hours or 9 1 hours. And there's different packages available there. If you are interested in any of that, definitely get a hold of me and we'll get you in and get you set up on a schedule. So may the Lord and the Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you in all that you say and all that you be and all that you do. Blessed be everybody. Onward and upward. We're going to get through all of this. There's a reason why we're all here. We're here to be that light. We're here to shine. And don't let anybody take that light away from you. God bless, and the Goddess bless you. Bye-bye.